Good morning guys, hope you enjoyed yesterday's video with the electric type mono run. We are doing the fire mono type run today. And again, this is going to be a difficult one considering there are very little fire types in the early game of Pokémon Blue. Jubbles, today buddy, you are going to be today's rival because I get the feeling you like the fire types. Either way, let's get on with the run. Pick up our potion, we're going to go get our first Pokemon, which of course is going to be our Charmander because it is the first fire type Pokemon we can pick up in this game. And it will be all we need to be able to get past Brock. Brock shouldn't be too much of a problem with a fire type because, I mean, if you've watched my channel at all really, I have done the Charmander only run and we did manage to beat Brock at the level cap. So, Lucas, thank you for subscribing, a long time ago you subscribed. You are today's Charmander. So let's get started. The Charmander is honestly going to be very, very good. I mean, fire type attacks are very sparse in Gen 1. I mean, we get Ember, we get Flamethrower, we get Fire Spin, Fire Blast. After that, there's not really much else to work with. So we got to rely on normal type moves and ground type moves to get through. But of course, once we've picked up that potion here, we can then progress on to Puce the City. And we might as well go up a few levels against the bug trainers in Viridian Forest because at level 6 we don't have a fire type move. We need a fire type move if we're going to make it possible against Brock because it is a special type move and his Pokemon are very, especially weak. They're very, defensively strong. But when it comes to like special attacks, if you've got any type of special attack, you can make it through his gym pretty comfortably. It's just, more times than anything, you start off the very first part of the game with only normal type moves or physical type moves to attack with. We can get up quite a lot of levels against these bug trainers here, and we also get poison as well, which is why it's a good thing that there's an antidote right after this trainer. So after we've beaten a few bug trainers, we can move on to Brock's gym. And we're going in this below the level cap in all honesty, because at level 11, that's how much damage Ember's doing, and it doesn't matter whether he uses Defense Curl or not. We're going to do consistent damage over all of his Pokemon. But at level 11 it's still not really enough, so we'll get up a couple more levels and we'll see how we do. Ideally if we can get a few burns that would be great, but the thing that I realised was he was doing a lot of damage because of Tackle. So if we can use Growl to reduce that attack down, we've got a lot more chances to get a lot more hits in. So now he's only doing 3 damage per hit instead of the 6 that he was doing before. We also get a few burns, which wastes his turns as he uses full heals. Yeah, Brock has 6 full heals. It's a weird little thing that both his Pokemon have got 6 full heals. It's really, yeah. Out of all the things that could have coded into Gen 1, this honestly boggles my mind sometimes. But yeah, when we can dodge around the bites, we're really going neck and neck against this Onix, and we're only level 12 here. So we really get down to the wire. He goes for a bite, and we've got enough time to get 2 more Embers in to get ourselves the win. So we managed to even beat my solo run where I beat Brock at level 14. And we managed to beat him at level 12 with a Charmander. So yeah, I'm looking quite confident on this run so far. But then I remember the next gym leader coming up is going to be Misty. But this isn't a solo run. We can actually evolve our Charmeleon this time round, so we've got a more powerful member of the team to work with. We can pick up Mega Punch in Mount Moon, and yeah, we're going to be using the full Charmander line in this video. Which is great because a solo run is very, if you're using just Charmander on its own, it's a difficult run, but we're actually allowed to evolve in these runs, so yeah, I'm quite happy with this. Charmeleon is a decent Pokemon. Now, going into Cerulean City, we are not going to go straight for Misty, we'll just get absolutely destroyed. So we're going to go get up a few levels and hopefully go and have enough to work with to go and get Dig. Because if we can get through to level 21, pick up Dig at the end of Nugget Bridge, we should be at a decent... Oh, we're going to lose against this Squirtle. Yep, we're going to lose. Okay. What can we do differently here? Well, I think it really... We don't have much to work with in terms of the level cap. We're going to have to just get a bit better luck. So we need to just go and try again. This time we don't get Sand attacked. And from there, the fight becomes a lot easier. We still are at half HP going against a Squirtle, but we get a massive critical hit on the Mega Punch. We take down Jubbles, and we move on. Now, this is going to be a difficult fight. We have Dig on our moveset. Well, not yet. We will have Dig on our moveset. So the Staryu is pretty easy to take down, but that Starmie is just a nightmare. As you can see there, one Mega Punch does around about a quarter. And we have pushed it right to the max. We are at level 21 here. And as soon as we fight another Pokemon, we beat that Staryu, we are going to level up, which is not good. Now, we can level up in the fight if the level cap is level 21, and that's against this gym leader, but we are just really struggling against Misty here. But I still think it's possible. And how do I think that's possible? Well, there's a TM that we can pick up on Nugget Bridge, and that is Seismic Toss. Now, we get very lucky there that we managed to tank 2 water-type moves and get enough Seismic Tosses in to get the gym badge. But it also means the level cap has now gone up and we can move our way onto Vermilion City. Now, the reason why we didn't go against this guy and get the Dig TM before, we actually reached the level cap about halfway through Nugget Bridge, so we had to turn back and we had to go and beat Misty at that point. So we are actually at a point right now where we are really, really struggling on our level cap. And the next time we're going to get a fire-type Pokemon is going to be after Lavender Tower. So at level 24, we're really struggling. If we go up a level here, well, we get Body Slam, which is great. If at least we can get cut before level 25, which is good, we can. As we go into this fight level 24, we can at least then take the cut TM, and because we can use it from Misty's badge, we can then progress onto Lavender Tower and then double back once we've picked up a new Pokemon. That way we are still adhering to that level cap, but even at level 25 we are struggling against the trainer on, like, the rival on SSN. But that's pretty much how I've been going about these monotype runs and keeping to that level cap. If I know that the next Pokemon that we can pick up is going to be after the next gym, it just means that the one that is overleveled cannot be used in the gym to increase that level cap. So once we've got ourselves through this fight, we're going to use Dig to do a lot of damage on that War Turtle. We can go pick up Cut and we can move on, because we can't go against Lieutenant Surge with a level 25 Pokemon. So you might be thinking, which is the first Fire-type Pokemon we're going to pick up? This is Pokemon Blue version, and there are version exclusives. So once we've got all the way over to Rock Tunnel, we'll make our way through, pick up the Max Ether as we move into Lavender Town, and from here we will go and pick up our next Pokemon. Now, the first Pokemon you can pick up that is another Fire type is going to be in this patch of grass to the west of Lavender Tower, and it is a Vulpix, of course. So we catch that at level 15, and that is the Pokemon that we can only use to go against Lieutenant Surge. Now, no one's seemed to have a problem that I do this method on these monotype runs so far. And I am technically staying to the rules, I'm just bending it a little bit. Alfonso, you are our Vulpix for today. I hope you enjoy the video. So, we can't go all the way back through Rock Tunnel to get back to Vermilion City. I mean, we could, but it's going to be a lot quicker if we go all the way to Celadon City and get ourselves Fly. Now, we can't actually use Fly until we've got Surge's badge, but what it means we can do, we can pick up the fresh water and we can open up Saffron City. Meaning we've got a much quicker route back to Vermilion City. So once we pick that up, we open up Saffron City. We will then go and use our lone Vulpix to take on Surge. Now, we did pick up a few TMs on the way, and the major one that we picked up is, of course, Body Slam, which is great for this gym, really. So we're going to use Body Slam against most of his Pokemon because, in all honesty, there's not many good Fire-type moves that a Vulpix can learn. It can learn Flamethrower, but it is very late in the game when it can learn that. In fact, majority of all Fire-type Pokemon... Wow, we lost against Surge. I'm going to have to promote him, damn it. The majority of Fire-type Pokemon do not get good fire moves until the later half of the game, which is really annoying when you've got the Grass Gym, which is halfway through, and you won't get flamethrower to maybe the 7th or 8th gym. When you around about that time, you're going to get fire blast anyway from Blaine. Once we go against Surge again, we get a little bit better luck, and now the level cap increases, meaning we can finally use our Charmeleon again. We are going to go and pick up TM29, which is Psychic, because I've got an idea of who can use that one, but we'll have to stay tuned for that one later into the video. Okay, so we've got 3 gym badges. Next logical step is we can go against the Rocket, or we can go against Erica. Now Erica, we have the type advantage, even though we don't have the greatest of fire type moves, but with 2 Pokemon in tow, I feel like we're going to be pretty good against her. We could go get the Firestone and evolve our Vulpix pretty quickly, but there are level up moves that I want to get before that happens. So let's see how we do against Erica. Erica is the grass type gym leader, and I don't care what anyone says, her red and blue incarnations are the most difficult version of her. I think in Pokemon Yellow she has a Gloom and a Weeping Belt instead of the Victory Belt and the Vileplume, and yet some people say that fight is much harder. Are you kidding? Like, are you actually kidding? Like, Vileplume is easily stronger than Gloom. Victory Belt is easily stronger than Weeping Belt. Get off your high horses. It's just logic. We beat Erica, no problem whatsoever, and then we move on to the Rocket Game Corner. Now, 2 Fire-type Pokemon going against, essentially, at this point in the game, he is a Rock Specialist, not a Ground-type Specialist, because he's got 2 Rock Ground Pokemon and a Kangaskhan. I don't know why they've never done like a multi-type gym leader before, and I mean that in the sense of there was a video from M&J TV, if you ever follow that guy's channel. Honestly, I really enjoy Michael's channel. He did a video where he gave every gym leader 2 types, and I'm pretty sure he gave Giovanni the ground and the normal type, and I honestly wish they'd just implement something like this in the game, in all honesty, because it's an interesting concept. He uses a lot of normal type Pokemon, he uses a lot of ground type Pokemon. If he split them in half, had a team of 6, honestly, that'd be great little gimmick to give one of the next games in the future. Anyway, let's see how we do against Giovanni. And pretty much, Charmeleon is just tearing through his team. We do level up, but thankfully, because we beat Erica, the level cap is now level 43, and we don't have to worry too much from here on out about that level cap. Lucas does go down, but it's all good, because Alfonso comes in, gets a body slam for the win, and we can move on to the next point in the game, which is Lavender Tower, and here we go against the rival again. We're going into this around about level 30, and in my opinion, this is probably one of the easiest rival fights in the entire game. You've got through Rock Tunnel, you've built a decent team, and he looks quite underleveled. He's not very high level compared to his SSN team. And considering you've just gone through a big portion of the game with Rock Tunnel, it's kind of confusing why he's not higher level than what I'd expect, really. So, either way, it's an easy fight. We go and pick up the Pokeflute from Mr. Fuji after we've completed the tower. And it's kind of annoying that all these rockets are also here. But it's part of the Rocket side quest, and out of the first and second generation, the Rocket side quests in the first generation are easily a lot more enjoyable. They feel a lot more integral to the story, which I've argued this before in other videos. If you didn't have the rockets in Gen 2, I feel like the game would not be any near enough different whatsoever. Like, they could have done a full game without an evil team, and yeah, I feel like if you were going to do a game without any of the evil teams, Gen 2 is probably the best one for it, because they're all weak. There's no, like, big bad boss at the end of the Rocket side quest. It's just Archer up in the radio tower, and he's a pushover, really. Like, at least at the end of the Rocket side quest in Gen 1, you have Giovanni, and that is a much stronger conclusion to that evil team, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm divulging. We are against Koga here, and considering we've got Dig on our Charmeleon, we are going to sweep through this fight pretty comfortably, really. We're on to the his last Weezing, and we get poisoned. But we Dig and he goes for self-destruct, giving me my favourite combination of moves in the entire game. It just feels good. when that happens. You dig, they decide, well, I'm just going to explode now. Oh crap, he's stuck under the ground, I can't hit him, I've just committed. I'm not even going to say that. Finishing up that, we are going to go and pick up some more Pokemon. Now, there are 2 more Pokemon that I have identified we can get in Pokemon Blue version here, without going to get a legendary bird. So, going into the Pokemon Mansion, we're going to pick ourselves up our 3rd team member, which is Ponyta. And, you know, it's not a bad Pokemon. It's decently fast, it's decently powerful. It's nowhere near as good as Charmeleon though. But either way. Shy Etzion, you are going to be our Ponyta for this video. Appreciate you guys subscribing and welcome to the channel. And if I know you've been here for a while, but either way, thank you. I really appreciate it for staying around. So there's one more Pokemon we are going to go and pick up, and it's one of the reasons why I favour Pokemon Blue over Pokemon Red. And that's because in Pokemon Blue you get the version exclusive Magmar. I always preferred Magmar to Electabuzz, if I'm being honest, and, well, to be fair, I was always given Pokemon Blue when I was a kid. My brother and my other siblings, they all got Pokemon Red, but I got Pokemon Blue. They all preferred the colour red, I preferred the colour blue. And that's the reason why I ended up with Pokemon Blue, but because of that, I was the only one who could ever get a Magmar, and they hated that. Anyway, we're going to loop back around to Celadon. We're going to evolve our Vulpix into Ninetales. And we've only got 2 more evolutions that we can do with this team. But we have got a stacked team now. We're not even going to go against Blaine yet. We're going to go straight back to Silphcoat and take on the rival. Now, Magmar can actually learn Psychic, which is great because really we didn't have much type diversity. We had normal moves, we had fire moves, and we had 1 ground move and 1 fighting move with Seismic Toss. Adding Psychic onto that is absolutely insane for this team because Psychic is a great type in Gen 1. We've got barely no weaknesses, and the fact we're using a Psychic type move on a fire type Pokemon, it means we don't have to worry about bug Pokemon. Yeah, we don't have to worry about too much. What is a big problem though is the Blastoise our rival now has. Now, we need to set up a sword stance, we need to make sure we don't get hit by powerful bubbles, and we managed to get enough in to get 1 big dig out. Yeah, Charmeleon beat Blastoise. I'm quite happy with that. Let's see how we do against Giovanni again. Our team is pretty damn good. Having Psychic on Magmar is honestly insane. And if you haven't, I haven't mentioned it yet, Forest Laflamme, you are our Magmar for today, and I feel like you're the most appropriately named person to be that Magmar, considering he has flames on his head. Anyway, Shy Etzion manages to take out the rest of the Pokemon in his team. We do get paralysed by the Nidoqueen, and we get on very low HP before getting taken down by a Body Slam. We bring in our ever-reliable Charmeleon to bring ourselves up to level 36, and bring in Pokemon's favourite child, which is Charizard. We've only got 1 more evolution to think about here, but we need to go and get the 6th badge. So, we're going to go straight against Sabrina, and if you're following that there, that is the quickest way I've ever found to get through to Sabrina. Now, we've got a lot of physical attackers on this team, so the big problem is that we don't outspeed sometimes. We do outspeed with our Magmar, and once again, Magmar is just staring through her entire team. We've got Psychic, which will do big damage on the Venomoth because it is not a Psychic type, it is a Bug Poison type, and it's very confusing why she's actually got one on this team. Especially when Slowbro, Jinx, and Exeggutor are all there. Why does she use a bloody Venomoth? I'll die on this hill. I hate that the Venomoth is on her team. Either way, Lucas gets us the victory, and we have 6 badges, bringing the level cap up to level 47. From here, we can dig out, and we're going to go straight back over to Cinnabar Island, because there's only 2 things left to do before the league, and that is 7th and 8th badges. So, back over on Cinnabar Island, we are going to miss out all the trainers, because, to be fair, we could get the experience here, but our team is pretty good. Now, if you want to get through all of these rooms as quick as possible, pretty much, you say yes to the first one, no to the next 3, then yes again, and then no all the way up to Blaine. This one here always confused me. It's not the most obvious answer, but you say yes at that one, and this one you say no, because TM28 is not Tombstoner. it's Earthquake. Or is that TM26? Even I'm confusing myself now. Either way, let's see how we do against Blaine. And his sprite is always weird. Like, he looks like an alien, doesn't he? Let's see how we do. Okay, it is Ponyta against Growlithe. Now, wow, that's a lot of damage from one takedown. We managed to get 2 Pokemon taken down with our Ponyta before we immediately fall to the Rapidash. It does get a couple of tail whips in, but we're going to get a few stomps in before that happens. And then we go down. That brings us into our Ninetales. I'm going to confuse it, and Confuse Ray is literally the whole reason why I held off evolving it so early. Because Confuse Ray is a 100% accurate move to get them confused. A move like that is worth having. We confuse the Arcanine, and finally, Ninetales gets us the win. At 10 levels less than his Arcanine. I love to see it. Anyway, we jump over the... This ledge is so annoying. We jump over the ledge, we head ourselves into the 8th gym, and we are actually at a type disadvantage here. But there's one thing we can do, and that is we can utilise the power of Fire Blast and Ember. Ideally, I didn't want to use all of my Fire Blasts up on my Ponyta straight away, and yeah, I really did some bad strategy there. That brings us into Ninetales, who sweeps through the next 2 Pokemon. We've now got Flamethrower on it as well, which is a great move. It takes down the Nidoqueen extremely quickly. The Nidoking can't do much against us apart from do a big thrash. And that brings us to the final Rhydon, where we can Flamethrower our way through to victory. So, pretty easily, and we were 10 levels below his entire team. So, level cap's now going up to level 56. We've got the rival to beat here, just on the west of Viridian. And I'm kind of scared for this fight, if I'm being honest, because his Blastoise now has Hydro Pump. And that is not a good situation to be in. So what can we do? Well, we can utilise the Badge Boost glitch a little bit, but for the first Pokemon with Pidgeot, it's not going to be too much of a problem. We Swords Dance against the Rhyhorn because it's the easiest Pokemon to set up on, and then we dig our way to victory against the next 2 Pokemon. The Badge Boost as well will also mean that we can do big damage against the Execute, but we do take a little bit from a Solar Beam. We then level up, which means that the Badge Boost glitch has become null and we lose our Charizard. And then we nearly lose our Rapidash on the very next Pokemon. This all leaves it with Forest Laflamme. He's going to use Strength, Confuse Ray. This Alakazam is a problem. Flamethrower is not going to do all too much. We do get a couple... Wow, we actually got a quick attack win there. We get a Paralyze on the Blastoise, but a Hydro Pump is a one-shot. So yeah, we either need to level up or we need to get better luck and look at our experience management. So I just decided to go straight back into it here. We know that we can take out the first 3 Pokemon with just Charizard, and we need better luck when we actually do start setting up. So we set up at least 1 or 2, because we know that Charizard will eventually go down. Growlithe goes down to a Dig, easy done. Execute is out next, and we're going to go for Slash. Ideally though, Dig is doing more damage because of Swords Dance. Slash, because it's got a very, very high critical hit rate, means we won't do as much damage as the Badge Boost glitched move. So, we're back through to the Alakazam, and we need to try and deal as much damage as possible before getting taken down. But this attempt's pretty much looking the same. But we get a critical hit on the Alakazam, meaning when we go into the Blastoise, we can get a Confuse Ray off before actually going down. It's on quite low HP now, and the Confuse Ray works in our favour. We miss the Hydro Pump and get 2 Body Slams in to take a win at level 40. I'm very happy with that outcome. Very happy with that. So, now we've got all of our gym badges, we have beaten every trainer, there is only one thing left to do, and that is move through to the Indigo Plateau. And I like showing this little build up to the league, because we've got to think about the very first trainer, and she is always a problem. The first trainer is Lorelei, the Ice Water type trainer, and this is going to be a difficult one really. Dugong as we have found from my solo run, is actually really, really good. And we've really got to try and get through our Pokemon as quick as possible without taking too much damage. Now, Flamethrower is just the best move here, but we get taken down by a powerful Water Gun. That brings us into Forest Laflamme, and I'm going to try and confuse this Slowbro because it is tanky as hell. And if we can reduce its special down, we'll start doing more and more damage with our special type moves. It hits itself Confusion more than enough and then uses a super potion of all things. We've managed to take it down, bring us into the Jinx, and then we can use Fire Punch to nearly one-shot that Jinx. Wow, if we'd been a level or two higher, we probably would have won that. We use Confuse around the Lapras, giving us enough time to deal enough damage out before bringing us into our next two Pokemon. Now, we need to use Fire Blast for powerful stab, and from there we take a win. A first time win, no doubt, at level 47. I'm very happy at that. That brings us into Bruno, and I don't think he's going to be a problem whatsoever. We have got Forest Laflamme, our Magmar, who has Psychic. Major reason why I was so happy we could learn Psychic was just for Bruno, because depending on the Monotype team you're running with, he actually is kind of annoying. Now, I'm not going to teach myself Smokescreen. We're going to go with Fire Punch, we're going to go with Psychic. Just for the fact that we've now got Agatha coming up next, and Bruno's got a lot of fighting types, so yeah, it makes more sense to keep Psychic, and we can go from there. So, Agatha, I'm worried for this one, but we're having Psychic on our moveset. We just really need to outspeed and not take some damage. Now, we go quite a lot of turns before actually taking some damage, but we are confused going into that Golbat. Forest Laflamme goes down pretty quickly after taking out a Golbat, but it's not a great situation to be in. We really were relying on Magmar to take out more Pokemon than just one, but it's just not what we had to work with there. We used try and cheese it a bit with Fire Spin, because why not? We're on 15 HP, we might as well chip away and see if we can take anything out. But we're 2 Pokemon down, and we have to rely on Ninetales again. You know what, Ninetales became a big MVP of this run. The Pokemon that did the least amount of work, I'll be honest, is Rapidash. We even gave it Fire Blast and it just couldn't do the same amount of damage as any of the others. So Ninetales was a breath of fresh air. It did a lot of damage. We got the last hit of the Agatha run with our Charizard, and that brings us through to, again, another big hurdle. And that, of course, is Lance's Gyarados. Yeah. Hydro Pump nearly took us out, but very luckily we managed to get through with 4 HP. Now, Slam does take us out on that Dragonair. That brings us into our Charizard, who can actually set up his Sword Stance now, and from here what we're hoping is we can start sweeping. Now, Dig is not going to be great to use on his last 2 Pokemon. It's going to be good for the Dragonairs, but it's not going to be good for the Aerodactyl and the Dragonite, because they are both immune to ground. So we're going to have to rely on Flamethrower here, and it's not doing all too much damage, but we do have more Pokemon to work with. That brings us into the final Dragonite, and he's just going to start setting up his agilities. We're going to burn him, which is perfect, which means now his Hype Beams will do less and less damage. But he is setting up his agilities, he is setting up his barriers, so we're going to have to switch to using special type attacks. And you know what, I go for the cheese. He's going to be slow because of the... well, now he's used agility, he can't be slow. We're just going to try and cheese it with Fire Spin, but eventually it's not going to work. Fire Spin's only got 85% accuracy, and then Hyper Beam does take us out. But that brings us into our final Magmar, and we managed to miss a Hyper Beam. If he had got a critical hit for Hyper Beam, we'd have lost there. But we take a first time win against every single Elite Four member here, which is fantastic. That brings us through to the champion. We are under level 50. I don't know whether we can do this or not. We actually outspeed the Pidgeot with our Ninetales and managed to get it confused. We switch into Lucas, and we're just going to slash our way through this. Because if we don't level up here, or he goes for a Sky Attack, we take it down. Okay, so we need to get big damage done against the Alakazam here. It managed to take out half its HP before being taken down. And Psychic just about takes it out, but we'd also take ourselves out with Takedown. This is probably the first run for a long time that I've used the move Takedown. So, yeah, you're privileged. Psychic is going to do big damage against the Rhydon, but even that is still managed to take 3 hits. It's going to take even more against this Arcanine, so we need to let Confusion work its magic. Strength is doing big damage, but we're down to our last Pokemon, and he has still got his Blastoise in the rear. We managed to paralyze the Arcanine, and I'm not too sure we're going to do too well here. Flamethrower is not even a 2-shot on the Executor, and we are just taking damage. I don't think this is possible at the level we're at unless we get incredible luck here. But no, Hydro Pump hits. We take our first loss at the Elite Four. Let's try that again. We're so close, but we just... under level 50 I just didn't think was possible. So we moved everyone up to level 50, and we started to see a big difference in the run here. We take down the Pidgeot without little problem whatsoever, and we managed to tank a Psybeam or a Psychic there. Either way, we are in the lead against this Alakazam. It does put off another powerful Psybeam, but we are nearly 3 for 3 here. 3 for 3? Well, Alfonso goes down. We've already taken out 2 of his Pokemon, so I'd say we're kind of neck and neck now, really. We set up our Swords Dances against the Rhydon because it's the safest Pokemon to do that on, and then we use Dig to take it out. We then use Dig to take out the Arcanine, and from here, Flamethrower should do a lot more damage now we've had a bit of Badge Boost set up. Takes out the Executor in 2 hits, and we have got 3 Pokemon to work with on this Blastoise. We do a powerful Dig, and he goes for Withdraw, giving us enough opportunity to take down the Blastoise without even taking a single point of damage. Charmander, our starter Pokemon, gives us the win, and our Fire Team, call me Blaine, has just beaten the Elite Four. Alfonso at level 50, Unluke's at level 51, Shietzion at level 50, and Laflamme at level 50 as well. That was a fun run. It was difficult in the early game, especially with Misty and the level cap to contend with, but after you get your Vulpix, it's a very enjoyable run. We've only got two types left to do runs with now, so we've either got the Ice or the Ground type next. Let's see who we get tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to do an Ice type only run, which, again, there's not many to work with. If you got to this point, please like and subscribe, you legends. And we will see you tomorrow for the next Monotype run. Take care.